Welcome everyone. Today is April 24th, and we are back with WT. So, we'll be starting in a minute, but then since then I've shared this docs link in chat, so you all can go and write your name in the attendees. So, you can find the link in chat already, and some of you have already started writing, so that's good. And also, like if you have any item want to talk about on Meshery, or you have any open PRs or any issues that you need help with, or any general suggestions or feedback, you can mention them all in the docs itself. So the same link will give you access. You can mention your name and your item. And I will also send this reminder in the chat so other folks know that happening. I hope we are good to start now. So let me 1 second check. So before we discuss various agenda items, let's first follow our tradition, and that is if you're joining this call for the very first time, so you get to introduce yourself. You can talk about the technology that you work with and how did you come to know about the community, and if you have any thoughts on Meshery or related projects to the community. So let's look who we have today as a newcomer. So Innocent, is it the first time that you're joining this call? If yes, do you mind sharing your intro?
Yes, thank you, Vivek. This is my first time joining this call. Yeah, I joined. I want to work on Meshery. I'm still getting introduced to the entire project. So I'm hoping to get help from all the team, from whoever who can get me started to work with you. Yeah. So I'm mainly doing DevOps and cloud. So those are the tasks I will be focusing on for now. Yes. Thank you.
Welcome to the call, Innocent. And yeah, definitely all the folks, you see as co-hosts and hosts and others who will be joining shortly, and all the members in the community, they will definitely help you out in understanding the project. Then you can get up to the speed. So once again, thank you for intro. Um, I don't think we have any more newcomer today, but I will just quickly ask Tejas, is it the first time that you're joining this call? Tejas Jaiswal.
No, Vivek, I have joined earlier as well.
Yeah, thank you for the confirm. All right, so let's get rolling. So we'll be, going in the sequence. So first item is from Yash, and I will say that this Yash is Yash Sharma, not the co-host. Just remind sharing your item.
Yeah, sure, sure. Let me share my screen. So let me first quickly go through what was the issue. Just a second. Yeah. So issue was regarding the on the following route, which is mentioned here, and the artifact hub. The name is not being properly in like hard coded. So what my PR does is, as you can see, what my PR does is on the following route. Under the registrants, the artifact hub name was not being reflected. And yeah, it was a small fix, but like I actually delved into it, and like I thought it was the backend issue, but like I guess Uzair just gave me a suggestion on the oldest PR which I created on the mesh kit, it was not regarding the changing the root or the database. It was related to the UI, and I've pushed this fix, which was creating the latest artifact. Like it was correctly encoding the word which we wanted which we wanted. So yeah, this was the line which I added, just added a function to actually prettify the host name. And what this does is, in future also, if we have multiple other resistance or we have to change the host name for it, we can actually uh, uh, like we can actually update it easily with this code.
Hey Yash,
Thank you. Yes.
thank you for
Yeah.
working on that. Actually, uh, issue is not about mainly of host name. Yes, this is an issue, but the issue is like you will see when we will like Meshery register different registrants, you will see the artifact of icon for different registrants also. So this is
So
mainly an issue right now.
okay.
Yeah. So you just need to make sure that if we register different registrants, we don't use that same icon. Uh, Ideally, that icon should come from the server itself. It should uh, have the icon for every registrant which is registered. But you can try by like for now to fix that, you can try by making sure what is the name of the registrant coming from the server. You just match. We have that icon in the UI public in the public directory itself, so that we have different icon for different registrant, and
Okay.
this is
So do I need to change it from the database, or like should change it from the UI itself?
right now you should change it from the UI itself. But ideally it should come from the server. If you can like if you are good in Golang,
Mhm.
then you can try doing that. But I will suggest that you can fix that from UI itself right now.
Okay. So like I need to create do I need to create more PR, or should I should I go with this PR only?
Yep, not this PR, or not this change. Yash, this is helpful. The issue is that it's just a Band-Aid. It's not addressing the root cause of the issue. And it's just covering up what will ultimately manifest and, well, bubble up into a worse bug. Yep. So
Okay.
Yash, did you scour the Meshery Golang code to look?
Yeah. Yes. So I actually tried to find out the Golang which was like creating this issue, but I was not able to find it. So if you can just point me the head start, like where should I look
No,
for it?
no, nope. You got to find it. Like,
Okay.
hey, as soon as I find it, I may as well just change it, right? I may as well just fix the issue itself,
Okay. Sure.
right? I mean, does that make sense? It would take me longer to come back to tell you where it is, right?
Sure. I'll look into it.
Yep. How are you looking? Maybe we should work on the tools that you need to be able to find it, though. How are you searching for it?
So I was actually finding using the inside the server folder.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
good.
uh,
I would expand your search past the server folder. I
okay.
would, yeah, I would also potentially, it's possible that there are two other places where this might be occurring. Like if you, the two other places might be Meshkit or the schemas repo.
Okay.
One of the things that comes into play here is the concept of a registrant. So Artifact Hub is a registrant. It talks to, well, conceptually, it talks to Meshery server. It registers a bunch of models.
Mhm.
And the way that a registrant is just a weird or lesser used word for connection. So it ends up being, that oval shape or that rounded rectangle shaped chip in the UI. where you have the logo next to it and it says Artifact Hub, and usually you can click on a connection chip and have it test the connection. So the registrant, the Artifact Hub, it's a connection, just like you'd have an adapter connected, or Prometheus or Grafana or GitHub or and so within the Meshery models, that framework of that set of constructs, one of the constructs is a connection.
Okay.
And so we should look to see if there's a connection definition for Artifact Hub. And the place that you would most likely look for that, if one is defined, well, would most likely be the schemas repo. So anyway, between those three code bases is where you'd want to focus your search.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lee. I'll definitely look into that.
Yeah, but I mean, since we're taking a moment, I mean, take a moment to digest it. To ask questions now. Like, this is a great time to help clarify.
So,
Okay,
like the models are coming from Meshkit, as I've gone through the documentation. So definitely I need to check the schema folder. That's where I'm mostly likely to find the like the definition. So I have to like look into that.
Yeah, and this particular connection has been treated special in the past, which is in part why there's somewhere there's a hard coding of the two words squished together, and it's in part because it hasn't been treated or codified in the most appropriate way. It was treated as a special. It was the very first registrant, and so it was treated in a special way. And since that time, the project now has the concept of a connection, and there are connection definitions. And so I think what you're getting at is eradicating some older hard-coded reference.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where you find it,
Yeah.
So thank you, Yash. Any other item from you?
No, that's it.
Thank you for sharing your updates. I'll be sharing my screen once again. Okay, so next item is from Lee. So Lee, do you want to talk about upcoming feature Docker Compose Braze?
Yeah, sure. I just got off of a Docker captain's meeting, and we talk about a number of things, but one of those is upcoming features from Docker. The Meshery as a project uses uses Docker Compose. Sadly, it still uses the Python Docker-Compose. So there's a tool out there, Docker-Compose, that you can download. It's written in Python. It's older. We've tried to get Meshery fully moved over to Docker space compose, because that's the Docker CLI that you're all used to, and it's written in Golang. And there are Golang packages for Meshery to hook into and use Docker Compose functionality. So when you start Meshery, maybe who do we have on the call? Oh, Hussein is here. This is great. So Hussein is actually directly, and Antoinette is here. Both of you, this relates to two areas that you've been focused on. So quickly, I'll say this, that for Antoinette, the Compose fork that we have, there's an upcoming feature from Docker called Docker Compose Bridge. And it is intended to translate between Compose files and Kubernetes manifests, I believe at some point Terraform, and at another point, I don't remember, but something else, a different format. Maybe it was CloudFormation. I don't know. I'm not sure. but it's to help do that translation that the compose fork that we're managing might be able to be eliminated. And we would then be able to just use the Docker CLI, its Golang packages for Compose Bridge to help us perform that translation. So that's nice. We will get, the product manager will be reaching out to me today, and we will see about getting early access. For Husseina, relevant to this, there's two questions that I have. Or one is the statement, one is the question. Husseina, I was using Meshery a day ago, and I tried to run. Here, let me bring it up. I'll share it. Meshery CTL system log. By the way, Antoinette, did that make sense what I had said? Does that sound like that could be good for us? Oh no, Antoinette, are you there by chance? Oh, okay. That would be why the camera's off. Okay. All right. For Husseina, did it make sense what I said about Docker Compose Bridge?
Yes, Lee. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
another thing, like the Terraform part, right? Like, do we still want to support it, or like, can we stick to just the Kubernetes manifest part? I think you are generally describing what Docker Compose Bridge is capable of, right? But Meshery would make use of only converting it into Kubernetes manifest eventually, right?
Yeah. At least initially that it would just focus on the compose or conversion to Kubernetes manifests. You can imagine though that, part of Meshery's roadmap is to ultimately support other formats like Terraform, specifically Terraform, given its high amount of use. There needs to be a bit more planning outside of just that initial conversion, but that might be a good starting point when when the project does get there, because that initial translation would help.
Okay.
There's a bit of a it might be that we were to decide not to use that from Docker Compose Bridge. Their approach right now is a lot of hand curated conversion. Like if in Compose, if you say that you want to mount a file system, well, they'll help the Docker Compose Bridge will help translate that to like a Kubernetes persistent volume. Oh, okay. They're helping translate between a description of a resource in this format and a description of a resource in this format. Okay. But it's a handcrafted or sort of manually curated approach in which, they identify the most common resources and go about the long slog of like maintaining that over time, which is what Compose with a K has had to do as well. And that's not what we do, because there's no way in hell that we'd be able to, Meshery could support 200 plus something integrations with thousands of components supported if we were doing any hand curated stuff. So it's an open question. I'm not sure. I think for getting from a simple description of Docker Compose over to Kubernetes manifests, it's a finite set of resources and it's a finite concern. And so that might be comfortable to use Docker Compose Bridge to do it. I mean, we're already using Compose with a K to do it. But yeah, as we step into something bigger, like Terraform, yeah, I guess we'll have to see. So Husseina, that's good. There was two other items to ask of you. Well, as we potentially prepare for that, do you know, are we still using the Python package, the Python binary, or have we completely converted to the Golang package for Compose?
I don't think we have moved on from the CLI as of now.
Okay.
Maybe I missed if someone has pushed some change set with respect to this SDK part.
Right. Yeah. No. I suppose not. I wasn't. I suppose not. In part, I was going to say that I was recently using Meshery CTL system log. And I think I'm trying to recall anyway, it had told me that, hey, I can't do that because I don't have Docker-compose installed on this host. So yeah, I guess that reinforces that. Hussein, do you know, were there technical hurdles to getting off of the Python binary and moving to the Golang package?
I've seen someone start on it. Maybe I'll check whoever is having that PR in their name and check
Okay.
what
Yeah.
is in progress.
Okay. And it might just be an open issue at this point. I'm not sure if someone's taken it to a PR.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Here's that message I was looking for real briefly. So this is good that we identify the prerequisite, need that we identify that there's a dependency needed. But yeah, it sounds like we're still. I wonder if this will point out that it's kind of interesting. Yeah, this is interesting.
Is available.
Huh.
Could be something to do with the path where it is available.
Yeah. Yeah, quite possibly. It seems to be there. Yeah. Okay. Hey, as you go to open up an issue about this, I'll I'll put this in chat so that you have logs for the issue.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, hey, that was my update with respect to Docker Compose bridges.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll have to follow up with Antoinette on the Compose with a K. We have a fork of that project, and it's a pain in the rear end. It's a pain in our side to maintain. And it holds us back from using other Kubernetes packages like the API, Meshery, and others. So good. Yeah. Thanks, Vishal. Vivek.
So next up we have this item from Chris. So do we have Chris on call? Looks we don't. So let's go to the next item. That is from Rudraksh. So Rudraksh, do you mind talking about your item?
Yes, definitely. So in the Meshery, just a second, let me share my screen. I'm hoping it's visible. Yeah. So when we go in the Meshery visualizer and look at the details tab panel, we can see the data being presented here is first a bit less in quantity, which you would expect from a container, and is can be a bit better formatted to make it more readable. So I'm currently working on that using the formatted metadata formatter that is provided in Meshery UI. which is a reusable component which can be used throughout Meshery UI and other extensions that we have, and takes in other formatters, custom-made formatters for various objects and their properties. So yeah, that's it.
We have any feedback for Rudraksh? So thank you for sharing your updates, Rudraksh. Next up, we have item from Ritik. So Ritik is with us on call. So, Ritik, do you mind sharing your
Yeah, I'll
item?
share my screen. All right. Okay. So we have a new feature coming up in Meshery Cloud. So it is about the challenges. So those who are old timers, we have something. Basically, we have two new features coming along in our Meshery Cloud. One is the learning path, and the another is the challenges. So those who are old timers, so you might have seen some learning path that we have on our lefi.io site. So but the content there is also, we are working on updating the content, and we are also working on adding the same learning path in our Meshery cloud. So if anyone wants to learn about a Meshery product, they can learn directly from cloud. And along with that, we are working on adding these challenges. So there will be more challenges. We will be conducting some challenges, or if you want to conduct, you can conduct challenges on our Meshery. So this is the first page. Like when you will reach to that challenges page, we will have all these card listed about the active challenges, upcoming challenges, or the challenges that are already done in the past. And if you want to see your ranking, we also have a leaderboard coming up. And like I have created some of the mockups for that, some of the screens for how it will look like. So I'll just quickly go through with all of them. That's so yeah. So if you click on this card, so on this card you see like we have two options. If user want to register directly from the card, they can register here, or if they want what the challenge is about, they can go to the details panel. So here, if user wants to add it to their calendar, they can add so the contest on their calendar so that they don't miss out this one. And from here also they can register for the contest. Here you can see we have some options provided for them description, where we will show the details about the challenge prerequisite that user have to follow. I'll go to the screen in a while. So another, this will be a leaderboard. This leaderboard is particularly about this particular challenge, and here the leaderboard, this is for the overall global ranking of a user, and there will be some FAQs as well. So yeah, here are different variants how the this page will look like if user has already registered for the event, for the and the event is about to be is in upcoming status, or if the event is already going on and user has already registered, so they can you directly go to the contest page. So from here, on click of this go to contest page, user will be taken to that uh, to this page where we have this prerequisite and the tasks mentioned that will be that are available inside that particular challenge. So yeah, so here also you can see like there can be a levels for each task, and there will be a points for associated with each task. So if user can click on that number and user will be taken to this tasks detail page, and then user can open it directly into their playground. So yeah, and yeah, I'll just go through this last prerequisite page. So user must have to install their first. We should go through these steps to give their task, but to give the content. Also, we have this a sample task so that the user will be familiar with how they will be going to give the tasks. So yeah, and before the call, I was working on the leaders board. So that's why this is currently work in progress.
quite an update, Ritik. So let me ask for any feedback, or if anyone has any question, you can ask that right now. So Ritik will be answering those. And also any suggestions or feedback, any thoughts you have regarding this whole effort. Now is the time.
Yeah, nice. Hey, I wonder if we shouldn't use it like a different. You see the first page where it has available challenges? And there's the page background color that helps distinguish the content. Yeah, and so if you reflect on the other pages, with the navigator on the left-hand side, I wonder. If these are in sequence, is the intention to have something of a dotted line between description?
Prerequisite, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, I have it.
Anyway, great. This is great. This is really quick work, and it looks like a few different features. Add to calendar, register. Nice. So, by the way, part of what Ritik isn't saying is that there's a call for volunteers to create some of these challenges, or to work on one, like on making one a viable one. So one of the first topics that was suggested by CNCF staff was distributed tracing and the use of Jaeger. And so, yeah, so the first challenge that will be worked on will be this, but there hasn't been anything described about what the challenge is specifically. So for any of you that are interested and know Jaeger, here's something that you can do. Help lay out the challenge. Different types of measurements for latencies. Maybe that's one thing to do here, is like clearly deploy Jaeger, but also there's different things to explore with the project, and that would be part of the challenge. So good. So people would use MeshMap. They would use the visual designer. They would be timed. They're timed already. Every time that you open up design, there's an event that records that you've opened up your design. When you step away from your design or you close your session, it's very similar to opening up a Google Doc and closing your Google Doc. There's an automatic saves that happen, automatic saving of changes that you make. And then for Google Doc, you can go back in history and sort of see your sessions. They're implicit to your interactions. They're not an explicit session in which you start and stop your Google Doc editing. And that's the same way that it behaves for designs. You open up your design, you start making changes, you walk away, you come back, you walk away. Meshery needs a bit of enhancement on understanding when you walk away, or like when a session is done, a session, what that means. How do you define when someone's actively editing versus not? Because you may edit multiple times in one day, and with one continuous connected WebSocket session, but maybe session should be defined a little bit differently. So you can see here in Figma has a different example of like Ritik having done some work. He did some at 3:02 and some more at 3:30. And so was that the same connection? Probably he didn't close the app, or maybe he did. But so anyway, this is something that Meshery needs to do better at, so that people, when they're being timed, it's a little more accurate. So good. So any comments or thoughts or questions about the initiative? Anybody into Jaeger or a different distributed tracing tool? So anyway, if you are, just say so.
I've been using Jaeger and Datadog for a while for distributed tracing and all those things.
Nice. Yeah. Do you say a little bit more, Deepak, if you would?
Yeah. Jaeger we use for distributed tracing. I mean, how those microservices able to trace the things like how networking is happening, and you can trace all those things using Jaeger.
Yep.
And yes, you will have some of the Jaeger agents deployed.
Yep, I get you. A good, well, actually, maybe I should ask the question better. I totally get all of that with Jaeger and much more. And so I'm wondering how familiar you are with it, like if you would be successful in engaging in describing a challenge, or if it's still relatively new to you. Is it a tool that you've been using for a little while? Anything that
Yes,
you
I've been exploring about Jaeger also. I'm not a kind of expert in this, but still I'm exploring the Jaeger and distributed tracing in my DevOps journey. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Good. Anything that you dislike about Jaeger versus Datadog?
Yeah, Datadog is somewhat advanced tool though, because you have those on-premise kind of things also into the Datadog, but still in the Jaeger, it is central to the Kubernetes ecosystem. That is why the more usage comes around Datadog nowadays, but still Jaeger is also evolving in the distributed uh, systems and all these things.
Right. Thanks, Deepak. Ritik, thanks.
So, thank you, Ritik, for sharing your update. Let me quickly share my screen. And next up, we have item from Yash. So, Yash, do you mind sharing your update?
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. So actually, yesterday there was error coming on downloading the design. It was because of this was an regression issue because of recent merge in this area. We have enhanced the cards and we have refactored a little bit, which caused undefined. This was an issue because of coming of variable undefined. So this is now fixed and released, so you will not get this issue anymore. So you can explore that. Also, a little bit suggestion, maybe whenever we will work on this area, maybe we can make it more uh, good. Like if we have a bigger name, we can like have a semantic design event. So other than that, if there is any question on this, other than that, I have one more thing. One is like call for volunteer. Like the current Meshery repo is not updated. It contains old designs and old screenshots and old GIFs and content we can enhance. Like over the past months and years, we have enhanced Meshery UI much more better, and we also have many new features in the Meshery right now. We can structure it like we can enhance the structure of this Meshery repos, README, and we can also add many new features and update the screenshots and GIF over here. So I have created an issue to track it. If anybody would like to interest and would like to work on this to make sure that we update the Meshery's repo, you can like propose what changes we should make and how we can restructure it. This would be nice, and you can comment on this so that others can help you make sure that you are uh, we are on the right path. So let me know if there is any volunteer want to work on that. I will share that in the chat. So that was an update from my side.
Thank you, Yash. So, do we have any takers on this one on call? Please know that you always can chime in the Slack channels or on GitHub issues too. So, Leos has just shared the link. Let's wait for 5 seconds. All right, thank you, Yash, for sharing updates. I am sharing my screen once again, and next item is from myself only. I'll be sharing the PR's link in chat. So this is about having a section on every integration page that will say related models or related integrations. So with that, I will mention that on every PR that has label area/docs, these three rules are failing. Netlify rules, header rules, page changed, and redirect rules. So we'll have to look into that. So just a heads up. So yeah, the item is about like on this page on Meshery docs, that is /extensibility/integrations. You get to see all the integrations that Meshery supports. So there are around 278 and more coming. So if you go to any one of them, they have this suggested reading right now. Okay, yeah, so they have suggested reading where they list all of those once again. So what I have done is reduced them to, so only the related category ones. So this one is a provisioning. This has category provisioning. So all the models that have this category only, they will be displayed and not the all 277 others. Similarly for this one, this is entry and this has category runtime. So only the runtime category models will be displayed right here and not the all 277 others. So this PR is basically about that only. And this one, like it was already done. So I was assigned and so this was completed. So just some quick updates from my side. I have shared the PR's link in chat. Okay, so that was about mine. And now next up we have an item from Internet. So Internet, do you mind sharing your update? I will quickly take a look if Internet is with us. Yep, she's on.
Yep. I'll say Antoinette's name out loud, just so that she might hear it. Just in case Antoinette is there. But if not, we'll continue.
Okay. So I think she might come later. So but we also have another item from Sandra. So Sandra, do you mind sharing a bit more about your item?
Yeah, so my item is just basically a discussion that we had a couple weeks ago. I just wanted to ask the community if anybody has made progress. I've linked the conversation that is in Slack. I didn't quite get a response from Antoinette because this was directed to her, and I figured I might bring it up on the call, hoping that she would be able to confirm whether she's read the message or not. Basically, we have an issue with importing specifically Docker Compose designs via Meshery UI. Yep, that's it. If you're interested, click the link. It's not malicious. It directs to Slack conversation, and let me know if you get to it first, or if Antoinette does manage to get time to get to it. I'll be happy to move forward with a solution.
Sandra, just one question.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Internet has already, seen the message. So she will be, helping. But I just had one question, that whether or not we have a open GitHub issue on this particular item.
Yeah, I think it's been open since the end of January or beginning of February.
Yeah, so it would be helpful if you could share that in comments here as well. So in chat.
You mean the Slack conversation or the issue?
I mean Zoom chat. Zoom chat.
Sorry?
The chat in the meeting right now.
Yeah, I'm asking if it's the issue specifically or the Slack conversation, because that contains everything.
GitHub issue, like I have already shared the Slack conversation link in chat.
Oh,
if you could take a look.
Sure.
So thank you, Sandra. So looks like that was all, but I will quickly ask to everyone, like if you have any item to talk about. So we have some time left, so we can talk about those too. So any issues or PRs you need help with, or if you have any general suggestions or feedback. Let's wait for 20 seconds. And while I'm taking a look at chat, so Lee, I like see a message from you to Innocent that we will be talking about some, if time is there, like available. So we'll be talking about some, Meshery concepts like relationships and others. So do you want to talk about those, or maybe we can continue?
Yeah, unless if there aren't any other agenda items, we certainly can.
Okay.
But it's not. Yeah, I mean, we have. If sounds like we still have other agenda items. Is that right? Or no?
Yeah. So no, we don't have any other items.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
But I think Meshery is about to share something, but he's facing some mic issues. Yep. So wait is over. We don't have any item.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there's a few of you who might have worked on Meshery relationships in the past. And there's a few of you who might be looking to work on them now.
So Meshery is like unmute. I wonder if he has to say.
And Matthew, your mic's working, which is good, I think. Nice. Yeah, Matthew, we could hear you for just a moment. Okay,
now it's okay.
We can hear you. It's. I mean,
okay.
Try it. Try it. Maybe we can make it out.
Okay. I just wanted to talk about the connection issue. I posted the link in the chat here. So yeah, in Meshery CTL, we want to add a create command for the connection, a create sub command for the connection. And currently, I have checked the code in the API. So the part where connection are created, but it's not clear for me what kind of object need to be sent to the backend. For example, when I'm looking, I'm seeing some kind Kubernetes, some it's Meshery kind, if I'm right. And just to be sure to understand how on the CLI I could create a great experience for people. For example, if we want to create a connection for Kubernetes, I think we need to provide a file from the config, for example, something like that, but it's not really clear how we want to achieve this. If someone could give me some details on what could be do that, it could be helpful.
Yeah, no,
I already started on my side, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so Matthew is working on a new Meshery CTL command, and the name of the command is called connection. It sounds like at the moment it's an experimental command, but it has the ability to list connections and to delete connections. And then as Matthew, as you go to work on creating new connections and then sort of viewing the details,
Yes.
yep. So your question makes sense. It's like, okay, well, where can I get my hands on more examples of connections and what the REST API for Meshery server would expect?
Yes, I checked in the API and I saw there's an object. It's a connection payload that it's signed when we from UI we add connection, but sometimes it can be but it can be different type. And in the documentation here, there's nothing really helpful.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, of what we see right now, there's connections are related to environments. So if you have a connection and you want to relate one or put a connection inside of an environment, you can. Okay, that's not helpful. We'd be interested in what would it be? So here, this is sort of the direct API that would deal with connections. So the connections are categorized. Okay, categorized under integrations. All right, fine. You can get all the connections available. Wow. Okay. Or you can do a post request to create a new connection. Okay, so this is the guy that we want to dig into, but at the moment, like there's not much to dig into, right? Like there isn't an example. Yeah. Okay.
I found some places where, for example, for the remote provider, there were a safe connection. It was called with a connection payload for Kubernetes. I think I'm going to try a first draft with that, a draft peer with Kubernetes support, but it's for the others.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. So if there's an existing connection, you've seen some code that will at least save or update an existing connection, but you haven't necessarily seen code that creates a brand new connection. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, there's a couple of things to be aware of. One is that ideally this documentation would be improved. Like ideally, this isn't much to go on. So Yash, if you were on the line, or Antoinette, or others, it would be helpful if this had a little bit more. One of the ways to get familiar with how a connection is described is to look at some connection definitions. In a separate repo, in the schemas repo, there's a folder for definitions. These are the definitions of, well, these are various components right here. And actually, I don't know if any of these components have connections as examples, which will make this not very helpful. This won't. Okay. So there isn't an example definition free floating out here that would be helpful. There is a different folder. There's a set of schemas, which would include a connection definition or a connection schema. I'm not. All right. Okay. So the latest version of the connection schema is V1 Alpha 2. This is in part helpful because this helps articulate what a definition would look like what a JSON or a YAML file that defines a connection will look like. In some respects, you've seen that as you look at saving an existing connection, like the put request to update an existing connection. It would have, if you're able to retrieve that full doc, when you do a get on a connection, you get a full JSON doc that describes the connection. In principle, if you were to take that same JSON doc and post it, you're likely to find that it will create a new connection. You might have to change a few values so that you're not trying to create a duplicate connection. But that's one way of sort of reverse engineering the system, Matthew.
Okay, it's where I am. I'm still going through everything, but okay, I'm on the good track. I mean, also, I did not post it in Slack, but I saw that when I'm coding the API integration connection and the get with the kind, I'm seeing that in the response I have the, for example, I tested with Kubernetes kind, and I was able to have the certificate that it was in the response, and it looked like to me it's something that it should not be public. I'm not sure. I will I will add something in Slack about that, just just to share publicly. But I found just to see if it makes sense or not.
Okay, yeah, if I heard you correctly, you were saying as you've been using Meshery, throughout your use, you have ended up creating a couple of connections just by using the tool. One of those connections is a Kubernetes connection, and
Yes,
yeah, I'm sorry to say that I'm pretty sure that Kubernetes connection doesn't follow the same, like it was created many years ago, and it has yet to be refactored to follow this more established construct, more established and generic construct. And
okay.
so unfortunately, it may not be the best example. A good example might be a GitHub connection, a Prometheus connection. I believe that those two, at least the GitHub connection, would be following the appropriate format. Yash Sharma, do you have anything else to add to this? Some other pointers to give to Matthew? Yash might have stepped away. Yeah, if I didn't have any other tools at hand, I think that's probably the thing I would look to go do is go create a GitHub connection, get it, and then attempt to post something similar using different values. Ultimately, yeah, I mean, as you look to support that from the CLI, like it would end up either being a lot of interactive questions that you would have to ask someone, or you just end up expecting like a YAML file or JSON doc. And to start with, it might just be that we would want to expect a JSON document. Like, I kind of don't think that creating a connection from that command is necessarily what people are going to want to do from the CLI. Like the ability to list them, view them, individual ones, and delete them, that makes sense. And those are easy enough for a user to do on the command line. The idea of creating one is really like many flags or a decent sized document that they would pass along that potentially includes credentials or a reference to a credential, which makes it even more difficult. It might be enough that we cut off the command at list, delete, and view.
Yes. So for the view one, I have at the beginning I started by the view command, and currently there's nothing in the API that allows us to have instead for a connection from an ID. It's something that I talked about last week. So that's why I was looking for the create. We have put, we have delete, connection ID put to update, but we don't have a get. And there's nothing.
Yeah, or we don't have a get documented. I wonder if maybe there is a get, but it's not documented.
Okay.
That might be the case. It would seem weird, pretty weird if we didn't have an individual get of a.
Yes, but it's not exposed. It's not exposed by the API currently is this one because or it's not in the end layer for connections.
Oh, yeah. Say that. Oh, yeah. I probably missed exactly what you'd said.
I said that in the API code we have the end layer connection controller, and in that part of the code I didn't find anything related to view a connection views instead of one connection by ID, for example. There's no function that is available in the code currently for that. At least by the API. Perhaps there's another way, I don't know.
Did anyone else follow the question? I'm not sure that I.
So no, like Mabrin, you're not quite audible. So I wonder whether or not we will be able to, continuing this in Slack. Will be better able to continue this in Slack, or we are also on time. So I just a time check.
Yes.
I will ask both of you.
Yeah, perfect.
All right then. Thank you, Mabrin. I'll be sharing my screen 1 second. So that is it. We are done with today's meeting. But before we leave, I'll be, sharing this calendar's link in chat. So by subscribing to it, you will get all the meeting updates. So let me quickly share this link. And also, like, if you want to get overview on the community. So tomorrow, on Thursday, we have newcomers meeting, as well as, yeah, we also have Meshery build and release meeting. So if you want to know about the automations and workflows in the community and the projects, make sure to, hop on this meeting. So yeah. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll see you next Wednesday.